So let's start with the basics. First point is,
Yeah.
what is database, right? So you tell me, what do you understand
Yeah.
by a database?
Database is collection of knowledge, I think, like where all the knowledge about something is stored together.
Okay, so you are very close, but knowledge is not the right word. Data is the right word. Okay. So if we want to store our data, right? If we want to
Yeah.
process our data, whenever we are running any program, let's say whenever we are executing a Python script or a Python program, we create some variables and we store some data,
Mhm.
right? Let's say I created a variable for
Yeah.
storing the marks of a student along with his name, his class, and some more details, right? Now, when the program will end, the memory will be freed from the RAM, and all of the data will be gone, right? So to store the data, like to persist the data indefinitely, right? We need to store it somewhere else, and that somewhere else is known as a database, right? So what is a database? It's just a collection of tables, okay, where we can store our data in any form we want,
Yeah.
right? So there are a number of things involved in it. So there is a database server, there is a database,
Mm.
there is a table, and then there is the actual data. Okay. So a database server is just a server where you host your database. Okay. A database is a collection of tables. Okay. A database is a collection of
Mm.
tables, and tables are the actual entity in which we store the data. So you can say that a database, for example, take an analogy. Okay. So a school database. Okay. A school has a database named as school database. Okay. Now, inside the school database, there will be different tables. One table will be for the teachers. One table will be for management. One table will be for the students. Okay, and one table will be for the janitorial services, right? Those who mop the floors and all those sort of services, peons and everyone.
Yeah.
So you can see that there is a complete whole database known as a school database, and inside that there are certain specific areas where we are supposed to store our data, right? Those areas are student, teacher, management, and janitorial services. Now, a person who is a janitorial guy, right? A person who mops the floor of your classroom, his data will not be present inside the data of the student table, right? Because student table
Mm.
contains the data of
Yeah.
only students. Similarly, like that, a student's data will not be present inside the table of the management, because management involves vice principal and like the principal and other sort of people, right? Who are in the management field of the school. Similarly, like that, the data of a teacher will not be stored inside the table of a student, right? Data of teacher will be stored inside
Yeah.
the table of teacher. Data of student will be stored inside a table of student, right? And similarly, like that.
Mm.
So there are a number of databases available out there. So we are going to use something known as MySQL. Okay. And it's very simple actually. We
Yeah.
use pseudo languages, the pseudo English languages, right? So if I just pull up my MySQL workbench, okay, this is a sort of a UI interface for accessing databases. Okay. And I already have my local DB here, right? So what I did, I created a database here, which is known as notes. Okay. I'll just create one more. I'll just remove this. Okay. And I'll create database, and I'll name the database as school. Okay. Let's run it. So it is saying here you can see, very simple, right? Pseudo English language. Create, what do you want to create? Database. What is the name of the database? School. Very simple.
Yeah.
It is saying, like, you can see the tick here, right? Green tick,
Yeah.
right? So that means the
Yeah.
command has been successfully run, right? Now, inside a school database, we just looked at that we have different tables, right? So we will say use school. Okay, use the school database and create table. That's a student. Then we need to give what the data.
Yeah. 1 minute. Can I comment on that? Hello.
Yes, you can.
Hello.
Yes, you can. Okay, so we're looking at how to create a table, right? So we want to create a student table in which now in the brackets we need to give the fields that the student table will have. So let's say that I want the student to have a name, okay, which will be a variable character, which essentially means a string, okay. The maximum length of the string will be 255, not more than 255 characters. Then I'll put a class. The student will have a class, a varchar, not let's say varchar, it's int, okay, first class to second class, third class, like that, okay. And then you'll say subject, right? Which subject or not? Let's just leave it at the name and class, okay, like this.
Okay.
and then I'll just run this query. So you can see another 2 times you can see that the green tick is over there, right? So we know that both of these commands have been successfully done. So there is a database created by the name of school, and inside the school database there is a table created by name of student, right? Now what we need to do is we need to store some data inside of it. So I'll say insert into, right, school dot student. So school is a database in which I want to insert, and in that school database I want to insert inside the table name as student, right? Values, what values do I need to insert? I will put a here as Taiwan, okay, Lannister, and I'll put the class as he's studying in 11th standard, right? And then I'll just run this. You can see another green tick here, right?
Yeah.
And what I need to do now is I need to select all the data that is present inside the student table in school database. So I'll write select star from school or student. So what does these different thing mean in this statement? So select means select, right? Select, get the data. Star means all the data, complete. Star means everything from school database, and inside the school database, a student table. Okay. So if we run this query, we should get the database data back, which is this data that we just put in there, right? Taiwan Lannister 11. I'll run it, and you can see that data is there, right? Let's store some other data. So I'll put 4 more statements here, okay? And here I will write Jon Snow. Okay. Tyrion. And let's put one more data, which is okay. And I'll run these 3 commands together like this, okay? If I run it, we can see that green ticks are there, so that means they have been run successfully, like they have been executed successfully. If we try to select the database, direct data from the database again, you can see that all the rows are present there, right? Right. So this is very simple. It's not very complex, right? Like if you study some advanced concept, that it will definitely become complex. But creating a database, creating a table, inserting data into it, selecting the data from the database, these are very simple commands, right? Pseudo English commands. Create, insert, we can understand from this, right? We just need to learn the syntax of it properly, and then we will be able to run all of these commands properly, right? Okay, so this is correct, but you can just look at it that I am trying to do it manually, right? I have to write it here, write all the commands over here, and I'm doing it manually, right? What if I need to do it with the help of Python script, right? Or maybe I want to do it, let's say, I want to share this database with you, right? Right now it is on my local system. This is my local DB, right? I want to share it with you. You cannot access it right now. So in that case, I will need to create this database on a server, right? On some server on the cloud or somewhere on the server. So for that, what we will do, we have this free MySQL hosting, right? So this free MySQL hosting is providing us 5 MB of data for free for testing purposes, right? And I've already created an account of this website, and this is my console. So what I will do is, you can see this button, my start new database, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just click on that start new database, okay? And it will start a database for me. So you can see that a new database has appeared here. This is a database host, which is essentially is a link at which the database hosted, right?
Yeah.
And there is a database name, right? Here we had this name, notes, right? Here we have this SQL 6430, whatever, right? We have a database username with the help of which we can access the database, and the password will appear here shortly, right? It will come here shortly. Database size right now is 0 MB because we have not inserted any data. Status, it will become active in a few minutes, okay? When the database is activated. So let's do one thing. I will try to connect with this database here, okay? So connection name, let's say my free SQL hosting. Let's name it that, okay? Host name. This is the host name. Username. This is the username. Sorry, this is the database name, not the username. This is the username. And in the connection name also, I'll just put the database name on, okay? It is easier for me to remember it. Store in vault. Okay, so we need to check the password also, but the password hasn't appeared here right now. Let's just refresh it once. Okay, so it's saying check your email, right? For the password. So I'm just going to stop the recording now. I click on store in vault. I'll paste the password here. Click on OK. Click on test connection. Test if it is connected or not. Can you anyway? Yeah, successful connection was made. So it's connected. If I click on this, it will open the database for me. Okay, I think the server that we are trying to use is an outdated one. There's no issues. So this is the database for us, right? And if we go here, and we can open a console for us. You see this button, right? Follow this link for my PHP MyAdmin. I'll just show you that when I make a query from here, right? And this query will affect the database, and we will see it here also. Okay. I'll just paste the password here. I'll copy this post. Hello. Yeah. And go. What happened? Spell the password.
Okay.
Why it is giving this weird error? Let's run it here only. I'll say insert. Sorry. First of all, we have to create a table, right? Create table. Let's say we'll create a teacher table this time inside this new database, and I'll name it an ID. Okay. So a teacher will have an ID, which will integer. The teacher will have a name. Okay, which will be a variable character, variable amount of character 255 maximum. And then we will have a subject. That teacher is teaching, right? That will also be variable character. Let's keep it 100, maximum 100 characters, right? If I run this, okay, no database selected. So we need to select a database. I'll say use, and I'll copy the name of this database. Okay. SQL 6432654, right? That's right. So it has been run proposed successfully, right? And you see this in this inside this table, you can see a new table called teacher is created here, right? Here a new table is created teachers. So I'll also insert some data inside of it. I'll say insert into teacher values. The first teacher will have an ID of 1. We'll give it a name. Okay. And we'll give it a subject. So I can spell also. Okay. This is the name of a subject. Then we'll insert another, and like this. Okay. We'll say spy theories. Copy this and run it. And you can see it has been successfully executed, right?
Yeah.
And now I'll just go to this teacher table, hover over it, and go to this last icon, right? I'll click on it.
Yeah.
And you can see it will, if I click on it, it will directly return all the records present inside this table, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just close this. And after closing this, then I will try to connect to this database. Okay. Maybe a simultaneous connection around possible. So this is the username, right? I think it was before this. I inserted there's some older user. It's taking its sweet time. Okay, we got it. So you can see we have this database here, right? If I click on this, expand it. This is a bit slower than MySQL. Yeah, you can see that the teacher table is there, right? That the database teacher table is present. Now I will also show you that some records are also present inside the teacher table. Okay. the records that we just inserted, the Naris and Varys. Right? And even you can access this, right? So if you are sitting on your system somewhere else, right? Maybe 1,000 miles away, and you want to access some data inside this data, you can access it, right? So I am inserting the data, you are accessing the data, right? It's sort of magical that you can access it from anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'll just run the statement here, select star from SQL 6432.654.teacher, right? And click on go. And we should get our data back. Those two columns that we inserted, sorry, those two rows that we inserted. Is the issue. 6432.654. 6432.654 SQL dot teacher. I think it's capital teacher. That's why it gave me. It should not be the case. Yeah, we got it. You can see both the records here. Dragon philosophy, where is Python, right? Pretty awesome, right? I uploaded it from here and it appeared there, right? Now, the question is, any doubts until now, first of all? Did you get what we did?
Yeah. Can I explain the last part again? Your voice was breaking for a bit.
Which part?
You had some issue at the start, and after that you said something, but I couldn't hear you. You know, when you tried once, it wasn't working. That time,
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
voice
So
break.
what was that? I wrote the teacher here. Teacher table is in all caps, right? All caps.
Yeah.
I actually wrote the teacher in small letters. So that's why it was
Oh.
giving us an issue. Right.
So
Any
that
other?
also matters.
Huh?
Yeah, so that also matters if we put it right or wrong.
Yes. Not everything. For example, if you put select in small, not in capital, it will work. But if you put the database name or the let's say table name in small letters instead of the capital letters, right? Then it might give you an issue. Right. The second point that comes is how do I create a Python script that will help me do all this stuff automatically, right? I don't want to go like a user. Whenever you are using Instagram, right, or whenever you are using LinkedIn or Twitter, right, you are not going inside a database and storing your tweet inside, like using this insert into tweet, my tweet, right? You are actually using a graphical user interface, right? So how do we make use of that graphical user interface to store some data inside the database, right? So that is what we will do. I actually already played around with it a bit. So we'll just create a new one. Okay. I'll go in there, I'll name it MySQL free hosting .py. Okay. And to use this, we need a module known as MySQL. Okay. This is a module that comes along with Python pip, right? And another module which is known as MySQL connector Python. Obviously, this is very obvious, right? We are going to connect MySQL with Python, so we need this module and we need the upper module also. So let's just jump over to the official documentation of MySQL, right? MySQL with Python. So let's open this. And this is the starting code, like starting boilerplate code, right? So we'll jump over to this also. But before that, let's just activate our virtual environment. Okay, I've activated the virtual environment. I'll just write script list. And you will see that MySQL connector Python, MySQL are already installed here, right?
Yeah.
You need to install it. Nothing but pip, just do pip install MySQL connector Python. If I just run this right now, it will just say that your requirements are already specified. Requirements already satisfied, right? For someone who has not installed it, you can just like run this and it will install, right? I just go to basics folder. Okay. And here we can run our script. So First of all, we'll jump over here and we'll copy our boilerplate code. Right. So what we are doing, we are importing MySQL.connector, which will help us connect to our database, right? Form a connection. We are storing that connection. This is going to return as a connection object. Okay, this is going to return as an object. We need to store it somewhere inside a variable. So I'm creating a variable called CNX and storing it inside CNX, right? I'll not contain CNX, I'll call it DB because that makes more sense. User. So we need to give the user here, right? So let's go over there. Let's go over here. Let's copy the username. We'll paste it here. Host name. Okay, we'll copy this complete thing and paste it here. Database. Okay, we'll need to go over there, copy the database name. Right, and finally the password. So I'll just copy. I'll just paste it. So this is our database connection object, and this is called like we are also closing it later on when we don't need it, right? Let's just run this code until, but like before going further to see if there is any error, right? So run this, and you can see that there are no errors here, right? No errors, nothing has been written. So we're going to assume it works fine.
Yeah.
MySQL with Python, right? We are here. So after creating a database object, we need to create something known as a cursor. Okay. So what is a cursor? A cursor is actually you can see a pointer that points to a table inside the database. Okay. And that performs all these sorts of operations. So if you need to take some data from inside the database, if you want to store some data inside the database, we use the cursor object for that. And for creating a cursor, you can do this cursor equal to cnx.cursor. So in our case, we will say cursor equal to db.cursor. Okay. Like this. So this will create as a cursor object. And let's put this inside a function like this. If underscore name underscore equal to name underscore this. Yeah. And I will create these as global variables. Okay. So I am defining the cursor and the DB here as none, and later on I am initializing them with their values, right? And I create a function here. I'll call it get data. Okay. And inside this, we need to get the data, right?
Yeah.
Let's run this code. I'll call it the get data function here. Okay. Get data like this. Let's run it. And yeah, nothing is happening here right? Let me just print here something. I'll say print fetching the data from the DB. Okay. Let's run it again. So fetching the data from the DB, right? And nothing else. Now what we need to do is we need to actually fetch the data, right? So there is a section here called querying data using Python connector. Okay, connector Python. So querying means fetching some data. So it is saying that first of all, we need to create a query, that select query, right? Then we need to say cursor.execute and pass in the query and the rest of the information, right? For now, we are going to keep it very simple and very minimalistic. So I'll just create a query here. I'll say query equal to, we want to fetch the data, right? Select star from, and what is the name of our table? Teachers, right? Select star from teachers. So we want to select all the data from the teachers table, and then we'll say cursor.execute query. So this is the query I want to execute, and cursor object using the cursor object, right? And then I'll say data is equals to cursor.fetch all. And then I'll print data. So this is only going to query, right? This is only going to run the query. This is not going to return any data. The data will be stored inside the memory of the cursor object. And by using this function, fetch all, we can take that data and store it inside the data variable, right? Did you get it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll explain. So cursor object is used to make the query, right? This query will be executed using the cursor object. But this is not going to return us back the data. It is going to store the data in our computer's memory. To get the data from the computer's memory and store it inside a variable, we are using this fetch all. Okay, cursor.fetch all. So this is the actual statement that is going to give us the data and store it inside the data variable, right?
Yeah.
And then we are printing data. So I'll run it again.
Okay.
Okay. This the dot teachers doesn't exist. Uh, Table SQL doesn't exist. Sorry, not teachers, teacher, not S. There is no S at the end, right?
Oh. Oh.
But what happened? Yeah. I'll just run it again. And you can see we got the data back. Then there is
Yeah.
right. Awesome. The data that is
Yeah.
actually stored here, right? Somewhere in the cloud, right? In the server. We are getting it back in a local machine using this Python script, right? And we can store the data also. So we will store the data. We'll say def, I'll say create table, not create table, let's say store data. Store data. Okay. I'll print statement storing some data in DB. Okay. Then I'll say query equal to insert into teacher values. What are the values we need to insert? Let's say, what are the two things that we got back? I think it was the ID and the name and the subject. So ID will be 3 this time. That is 3 directly. Name will be Peter Baelish. Okay. And subject will be Paul Master.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we will say cursor again, cursor.execute, right? We have already seen this cursor.execute query. This is going to execute the query. But in this, we need to do one more thing, which is known as db.commit. So cursor.query will execute, but db.commit is the actual statement that is going to store the data inside the database. So this takes the data in a staging environment, which is middle of our system and the SQL database. But to move it from there directly into the database, like permanently, we need to call this function called db.commit. Okay. So let's call this function. Let's just store data. I'll call the store data function. And it should execute without any errors. So it has executed without any errors, right? And let's call the get data function again. This time we should get this record also. So you can see this record is also there. It has been inserted into the database, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Amazing, right? How we can access this.
Yeah.
We can do this on your side also. So we'll do that, right?
Yeah.